What's going on, beautiful people? We are back again with another Mental Max Out podcast. I'm your host, Akeem Robinson. And for those of you joining us for the first time, thanks for checking it out. Mental Max Out is all about helping people change their perspectives, think differently, and get out of the hole. If you're back again, I celebrate your willingness to continue growing and challenging your mind. Remember, if you like what you hear today, make sure you hit that subscribe button or whatever platform you're listening from. Share it with a friend and follow us on social media at Mental Max Out Podcast. What's going on, beautiful people? We are back again at the very tail end of the year, and I'm telling you, I'm excited a lot more than just for it being Christmas. Clemson snuck into the college football playoffs. That's like a Christmas gift and a birthday gift all rolled up into one for me.
So I don't have to get you anything for your birthday.
I didn't say that either.
Graduation, Chris. Like, you're set. Like, I don't even have to shop at all.
I didn't say that either. That would be really cool to, like, like a cookie, a cake or something, you know? That would be really cool. But it still is a great gift because I'm that fan. I'm a little bit underneath paint my face. Okay. But I am the fan of, like, I feel like I'm on the sideline clapping, I'm screaming at the TV.
Like, you're still playing.
I'm still playing, So it's a good time. It is a great time. We are on the verge of traveling like crazy, and it's going to be a madhouse, but we sign up for it every year.
Yeah, the Robinson family holiday this year is nuts because we were in Texas for Thanksgiving. Then I had a work trip to Colorado. Now we're home for a couple of days before Akeem has graduation this coming weekend. It's also his birthday this coming weekend. December 12th. Shout out to my husband. And then we return from Florida, spending time with family there. And then my parents come to town for the holidays, almost up until New Year's. So we just love the holiday season because it's just a great time to have fellowship with people, celebrate. We love Christmas music. I love to decorate the house. And so we're just really excited for that this year. It's going to be great because Serena is kind of at an age where she gets to be involved now. Last year, she was just kind of laying around.
No pun intended. Literally laying around.
But now she can kind of be involved, and she's been helping us in the kitchen and helping us decorate and things like that. And so it's been a lot of fun.
When you see this little person growing up, it's like, holy crap, they're getting bigger. Her hair's getting longer. And I'm like, I'm responsible for her. So it's kind of freaky and like exciting all at the same time. I really sat there and thought to myself, I was like, what do you want to do next year? Like, as a parent in this stage of your life, what's your plans for next year?
Do you believe in New Year's resolutions?
See, I do believe in New Year's resolutions if it can help you become something different. Because I think some people have the idea, I'm going to put this resolution out in place, but I think they're just doing that without true steps involved to help them becoming this new person.
Okay, so like, for example, like probably if we were to Google it, number one researched New Year's resolution is, I want to lose weight. And so people start and they're like, I want to lose weight, so I'm going to work out every day, or I'm going to go for a walk every day, or I'm going to work out 5 days, whatever it is, right? And the problem that happens, most people in March are like, hey, how's your New Year's resolution? Oh, I stopped, I gave up, right? Because the moment that you quote unquote break it, like whatever your plan was, you just stop. And so it's like, how do you have, like, are New Year's resolutions supposed to last all year? Are you whatever you commit to for January 1st, are you supposed to be still trying to achieve that in December? Because I feel like that's one of those things where people just, I was going to eat healthier, and then I, went to In-N-Out, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to eat healthier anymore. But it's like, you can still try every day if you're trying to make a lifestyle change. We oftentimes are like, oh, I broke it, I'm done.
Oh, okay. Well, according to their Google machine, it says 30% of Americans make New Year's resolutions. And their number one reasons for making New Year's resolutions are losing weight, save money, change careers, quit a bad habit, and spend time with family. And based on what you just said, though, I think those are such hard things to say. It's continuing to go upward because those things are dynamic. Finances
come and
go.
Yeah.
It's so spending time with your family like that. It's a dynamic.
It's circumstantial.
Yeah, and I think that's what sets people up. Because the other thing was that right underneath that, it says success rate. Only 1% of people stick to that. And I think because it's such a dynamic thing to try to measure. How do you say, I want to spend more time with your family? Like, is that you want to spend one more hour? What if they're sick? What if they're not doing well? What if they're out of town? Does that break your thing? What if you say, I want to spend more days with them? Okay, what does the day look like? Is it broken up into sections?
Do you think that we would be more successful with our New Year's resolutions if we made them habit driven and not routine driven?
Come on.
Because the resolutions that are routine driven, I have to do this every day, I have to do this once a month, I have to do this like da 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 in order for you to check the box that you're still succeeding in your resolution, versus the things that you just want to make it a habit. Right?
Thank you, yes.
I just want to make it a habit that I want to get up and read my Bible every morning. I want to make it a habit that I want to spend more time with family, so I'm going to, reach out more frequently than I did last year. Because if you're looking at it that way, and we look at the year, we spent way more time with family this year than we have in years past. Now, granted, are they here for us or Serena? Let's be honest, they're here for Serena.
Come on.
But the point is if we had said, I want to spend more time with family, we didn't need to do that every day, so it wasn't a part of our routine. It was just a habit. We wanted to make it a habit to travel more, to welcome people into our home more, and so we would have succeeded at that.
The cool thing is a habit is inward focused.
Okay.
Because you can change your inward perspective on how you look at it, right?
Okay.
Like, so for example, I said I wanted to make the habit of making my bed. That was an inward focus. It's not like I said, I want this house to be cleaner. There's circumstances it might not be clean.
Well,
like we have a 1-year-old, so it's...
And to your point, right, you want to make it a habit of making your bed every morning, but that doesn't mean that the first time you forget, you're just like, well, screw it, never going to make my bed again.
Exactly. So you're trying to focus inward on the progress of how many times you're doing it, not on the sheer result of, oh, I did it 2 minutes later. Oh, I forgot to do it today, so it's a wash. It's no longer successful. And I think a lot of people make it this or that. They give themselves no room to fall, no room to have grace. I think that's the biggest mistake in it all. When we fail at something, it's not that you failed at it. It's how quickly are you willing to get back up and try it again?
For example, in 2020, we had some friends who had done the Whole30 diet a few times, and they were about to start another Whole30. And this was a couple and their family that, we spent a lot of time with during the pandemic. They were like our COVID, everybody had their people during COVID that were like in their bubble. These were people were in our bubble, and they were going to do a Whole30. So in order to stay in the bubble, well, we knew they were going to be eating different, so we probably were going to have to eat a little bit different, right? And so I looked at Akeem, I said, hey, do you want to do Whole30 with Jen and Caesar? And he was like, no. I don't. And I was like, well, I've always wanted to do it, but I'm intimidated, and I just feel like it will be good if we do it with them. They've done it before, this, that, and the other thing. And so finally he was like, all right, but here's my thing. I don't want to do something only for 30 days. I don't want to do something, have this benefit, whatever, and then after 30 days be like, okay, well, now what? So if we're going to do it, I want part of it to be sustainable for our lifestyle. Fast forward, we start Whole30. It's great. We do everything we're supposed to do. And we're about a week in, and the food sucks. And everything's bland.
Awful.
And we're like garlic salting everything and looking at each other like, man, we are salting things way too much. That's not good for us either. What do we do? So Akeem starts playing around with different sauces, different dressings, different ways to make things. We really, really, really were like, okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it the way that we want to do it. And to this day, 4 years later, we still don't keep condiments in our fridge. We still make all of our own salad dressings, barbecue sauces, all that kind of stuff, because he wanted it to be sustainable. Now, granted, we still go out for tacos, we eat ice cream, we eat Chipotle, we do all of that, but our household has remained a very clean household from processed food because of that experience we had at Whole30. We didn't give up in terms of like, oh, well, Whole30's done, I guess we're going to put everything back in our fridge. Like, we didn't do that. If we get wings, we get blue cheese dressing. If we get fries, we eat the ketchup. Like, if we do those things come into our house, we do consume them still, but then we're not just like, oh, well, guess we're going to buy this again. Guess we're going to start buying this again, right? Because we made a habitual change to how we ate in our house.
Not only did we make such a change, we started to check ourselves. What's in our house now? Because remember when we said that, we were like, okay, we're going to start Monday or whatever. We looked at every single ingredient. And then when we went shopping, we started turning the package around.
Yep.
Things that we would get all the time, we would turn them around and said, is this okay? Because we started to educate ourselves. So in order for us to change our habits, we had to look inward into like, what was our education on it?
Yeah.
Like, how did we truly understand how we ate? Because we thought we ate really well. And we were like, we're not bad eaters. We don't look bad or anything like that. But we had to continue to educate ourselves. And I think when people think about changing themselves, they're not truly educating themselves on what are you trying to change? Truly, what do you want to change? Are you changing your weight? Okay, that's good. But why do you want to change the weight? Is it because of an outward appearance of how people perceive you?
No, it's because you want to look good naked.
Well, okay. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But like, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, it was because I wanted to look good naked. But for me, me losing the weight was more like, I know what I look like at my best.
Yeah.
And so for me, I had to say, now I have a wife. Now I have a kid. So how do I educate myself to continue to do those things in this new style in my life? Because I was doing that like a single person. I wasn't eating nothing.
Yeah.
I wasn't buying anything. So I had to re-educate myself.
I feel like routines can help you because they, for some people, really set a good foundation. Like when I did 75 hard, I succeeded because I had to do the same thing every single day. And I was challenged in order to do that. And it was good because when I stopped doing 75 hard, I had the perspective of, well, shoot, I was doing 2 45-minute workouts a day. I could at least do one now. My habit of wanting to work out more this year succeeded because I had a routine where I had to check the box. And so even when the routine ended, the habit remained. And I think that's where a lot of people, when they set New Year's resolutions, drop off. The routine ends, so the habit ends.
Ooh.
But it doesn't need to be like that if you have the perspective and grace with yourself. Because again, if we're looking at a lifestyle change, then it can't be centered around routine because life may not always fall in line with whatever your routine is.
The routine can fuel the habit, or the habit can fuel the routine.
Yep.
And so at the end of the day, if the routine is off, are your habits off? If your habits are on point, your routine starts to get on point.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So they feed each other. And that's the cool thing. And when you talk about a New Year's resolution, you're going to make this resolution to improve one of those, because improving one of those will hopefully improve both. Your routine will improve, so then your habits will change.
What about the New Year's resolutions that are one and doneers? I want to do X this year. And then when you do it, then you're like chilling the rest of the year. Do you form a New Year's resolution halfway through the year? Because my thing is like, I look at it and it's December. It's the beginning of December right now. And I'm like, okay. My New Year's resolution is going to be this. But like, why wait? Like, why not just do it now? Like, if you isn't a New Year's resolution just a goal associated with a time of year?
The best way I can explain this, every single team has a goal. Every single team has a goal. And some accomplish it sooner than others. Some have, I want to win 8 wins. Now, just because they win 8 wins and they still have a season remaining, they don't just say, well, guys, we're good. No.
I'm going to lose the rest.
Yeah, they still have another goal and they want another one. So all 3 of those things now factor into each other. Your goals should change your habits. If they change your habits, they can affect your routines. You see what I'm saying? Like, all of them should be feeding each other constantly, because if one stops, you need to replace it with something that can continue to kind of make the wheel go.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So like for us, right, when we said we want to change our habits for Whole30, we said we need to change everything. We need to get everything out the house. That was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But now the goal is when we go shopping, we don't buy those things, because that will affect our habits. And then that will affect our routines. So our goal is constantly, how are we eating? Like there's always an overarching goal, and those should factor into, how does that affect my habits? How does that affect my routines? Because if it does change, we need to change the goal.
So resolutions essentially should be a continuous process. It shouldn't just be a start and a stop. If you're going to have a New Year's resolution, it really should be something that is a continual area of growth, and not just, it's like when people say open or closed-ended questions, right?
Yes.
An open-ended question is where somebody can answer, and it's those fill in the blanks on tests that you can't stand, versus your yes or no true falses, right? And so it's like, when you think about your New Year's resolution, it should really be something that is open-ended and allows you to continue to grow, because you don't want to be stopped in February just because you hit X number.
No question. And I was having a conversation with a former athlete, and they were talking about, I'm thinking about marrying my person that I'm dating. And they were like, how do you know, coach? How did you know? And I was like, oh man, I was so proud of this guy for asking me this. And I said, yo, that's such a deep question. And the first answer I gave him was, I said, honestly, this might sound cheesy, but I continue to find out ways to love her every day. I said, because if you base it off of the person you're marrying today and you don't continue to change and meet that person where they are, they're going to fall out of love with you. They're not going to continue to want to grow with you. And I think that's how it is. Your partner or yourself has to constantly be willing to change and constantly willing to grow, because there's always something that you can learn. And I think once you set a goal and you say, oh, I did it, that's good, I'm done, you're setting yourself up for a fall. You're setting yourself up for a crash. And here's where I've seen it so many times, right? And everybody's a victim of this at some point. We say, when I make this money, then this will change. And so what people are doing is they're saying, I'm going to give only so much effort now because I'm not at the money that I want to make yet.
Yeah.
Or they're saying, okay, when I make the money that I want, now I'm going to give more effort. It's already too late, because you already done put yourself in a position where your habits are already being affected, because you're only giving so much energy. You're saying, I'm going to give just enough effort right now. Your habits are getting affected. But when I get to this money, then I'm going to change my routines. It's already too late.
I think it's tough because you're always in a position to make a decision, right?
Yeah.
So like every moment that you're like, hey, I could do this, well, then do it. Every moment that you're like, hey, I feel like I want to get this done today, well, then get it done. It's the concept of, at the end of the day, you look back on the whole day and you're like, oh, I didn't do anything. I wish I had more time. Well, if you had more time, would you still just be scrolling on the couch more? Like, would you continue to just be chilling?
Exactly.
And I think that's, for a lot of people, oh, well, if I had time, I would be able to reach my goals. Or if I had time, I would be able to do this. And I think knowing that you're always in a position to be better, yeah, you may not want to start your New Year's resolution until January 1st, but what are you doing right now to prep for it? What are you doing right now to say, okay, next year I'm really going to hit this hard? Because I think a lot of the reason that we wait is the holidays. Oh, okay, if it's centered around eating, working out, whatever, and you're traveling for the holidays, it can be really hard and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, then just go for a walk. If your New Year's resolution is going to be to work out 5 days a week next year, well, start now and just go for a walk a couple days. Get yourself ready, prep yourself for whatever it is. Oh, well, I'm going to do this. Well, I'm going to do that. Well, start setting little goals that you can do every day that put you in a position to really succeed when you decide you want to start your big goal. Because I'm the type of person where I like routine and I like to commit to something and then do it. For me, I think that the concept of, okay, I'll start this then, is very intimidating and daunting. Versus now, if I start doing something every day, and you've helped me with this, oh, well, you've already been doing that. See, look, you did that 3 times this week, or you did that 4 times this week. You've already been doing it without even realizing it, and it can kind of take the pressure off.
There's power in just knowing you can do something, just knowing like, oh, I'm competent enough that I can do X, or that when I put my mind to it, I can step out and be comfortable in this new surrounding. But the only way you can get to that point is you really have to try it and be willing to be bad. And then once you know you're bad, are you willing to like work at it and be good? And that's the thing. Like, I think when people have New Year's resolutions, they have no idea if they can do it or not. So to your point, how about we start prepping? If you're saying I want to work out every day, do you have the logistics to be able to do that?
Yeah.
Prep yourself now to say, truly, what would my day look like if I was going to do that? Instead of just waiting until the day you're like, I'm going to work out 5 days a week, and you have no plan. And I think once you can start to look at yourself and say, what am I capable of doing, because you've prepped yourself to do it, you gain more confidence in growing through that.
I think at the end of the day, it's tough because people naturally are afraid of change, and people are naturally afraid to like do something different, especially if the people they're surrounded with are just totally content staying the same. And so if you're the one black sheep that's like, I'm not really cool with this. I want to do something different, right? It can be really intimidating. And I feel like New Year's resolutions give people a great opportunity to almost have the excuse to change. Some people need the excuse to change, and they need that situation to be right for them so that they can feel comfortable saying, I'm going to do something different. Hey, I'm going to start losing weight because that's my New Year's resolution. And people automatically accept that because New Year's resolutions are accepted. But if you were just out of nowhere, like, hey, I'm going to do something different in October, people would be like, oh, okay, like, what's going on? You know, why are you switching things up, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a New Year's resolution is so good for people because it gives you the excuse if there's something that you've been waiting for or wanting to do. Well, do it now. Use this opportunity to be like, I'm going to make that my New Year's resolution because that's how, society views it.
And you should be willing to give yourself, to your point, give yourself that ability to say, this is what I want to do, but give yourself that mindset of saying it can be adjusted. It can be fine-tuned to fit, right? Because we've learned this before Serena entered this world. You were like, I'm going to be hot mom. I'm going to be working out every day. I'm going to be doing this. And I was like, yeah, we're going to be that family. And then we were like, we're tired.
So tired.
I'm tired. And I was like, yo. So when you're thinking about that New Year's resolution, be willing to change some of the things that you set out as parameters because they need to adjust in order to continue to push you forward.
I said it earlier and I feel like it's a good mantra. You're always in a position to make a decision. And I think that as you look at the holidays and as you look at the new year and things that are coming up in your life, what decisions are you making to better yourself? What decisions are you making that contribute to the overall goal of who you want to be? Because essentially that's what a New Year's resolution is about, right? You say at this point in the year, I want to be better at this. I want to be good at this. I want people to think this about me. So right now, what are you doing to prepare yourself for the journey to become whatever that is? Because you don't have to wait till January 1st. But if that's what suits you and serves you, then great. You can still do some things now to encourage that behavior for your New Year's resolution.
Come on now. And again, it just takes one step at a time and being willing to be uncomfortable because once you're uncomfortable with it, you can start to learn how to be comfortable with it. And then it becomes your new habit and your routines.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Follow us on Instagram at Mental Max Out the podcast.
Come on now and let somebody else know about it. Spread the word. Spread the love.
We hope you have a wonderful week.
Thank you for joining us on this exciting episode of Mental Max Out. We hope today's discussion has empowered you with the insights and tools to overcome the challenges of depression, fear, and doubt. Always remember that you have a support system on this journey, and every step you take is a step forward towards victory. If you found this episode helpful, make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. We greatly appreciate your feedback as it allows us to continually provide you with the content that is most valuable to you. Stay connected with us on Instagram at Mental Max Out Podcast for a constant source of motivation, helpful advice, and a supportive community. Until the next time, keep pushing forward and remember, you have the strength within you to max out your potential. Take care and stay strong.